Go.
First
Morning,
up to
Karl.
you, Mr. Abbott. Good morning. Winners or grinners?
Look, the Australian public, Karl, were the losers yesterday because we've still got the civil war inside the Labor Party. We've still got the circus of a government which is much more focused on itself than it is on the Australian people, and that's the tragedy of yesterday. We are no closer to strong and stable government. The only way to get a strong and stable government is to have an election, and that's what we need as soon as we can humanly get one.
You must concede, or you must be happy with the way things turned out for yourself yesterday, though.
But it's not about me, Karl. It's got to be about the Australian people. You see, the Prime Minister is focused on herself and her survival. She's not focused on the national interest. She's not focused on serving the public. It's got to be about serving the public, cutting the carbon tax, building WestConnex, building the East-West link, cutting red tape, stopping the boats. That's what it's got to be about, but it never will be as long as Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd remain in the Parliament.
Is that it for Kevin Rudd, do you think?
Look, Kevin sees himself as the messiah for the Labor Party. I think as long as this is a government that's in trouble, there will still be this fight, whether it's Rudd stalking Gillard, Gillard stalking Rudd. As long as we've got this particular Labor Party, as long as we've got a Labor Party that has no principles, no due process, no real belief except in its own power, I think we're going to have problems.
The telly calls him this morning Chicken Kev. Is he gutless?
Well, again, I don't want to get into a personality game. I just think that the Australian people want to see strong and stable government. The only way they're going to get it is with an election. And if the Prime Minister was as strong as she likes to say she is, she wouldn't be frightened of facing the people. That's what we need now, an election. We'll be putting a no confidence motion in the government on the notice paper. I hope it will be debated in budget week because, frankly, the farce cannot continue, and I hope that the electors of the independent members will be saying to them, you have propped up a bad government for too long, let's have an election.
You'll have to convince the independents to do that. I would imagine that would take some considerable convincing.
The electors in Lyne, in New England, in Denison, up there in the Sunshine Coast, they need to be talking to their members of parliament and saying, we need a strong and stable government. The current government is not providing that. Let's have an election. It's time for the people and not the faceless men, not the backroom deals, to be choosing who should lead the country and who should form the government.
But you know only too well the independents won't do that. They'll try and stay with Julia Gillard until the next election. They have things they want to get done. For example, Tony Windsor, there's no way, he might work with you, but there's no way that he is going to work with the Nationals. All the Nationals want to do is shaft him. Well,
plainly the independents are losing faith in the government. They didn't support the government's creation of a media watchdog, a new media watchdog to bully the government's critics. So this really was, if you like, a de facto vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister when they refused to support the media laws this week. So I think their faith in the Prime Minister, who they've propped up from day one, is now slipping, and I am sure that their officers would be deluged with calls and emails and letters in coming weeks saying, end this circus. And the only way to do so is to have an election.
Do you think, do you concede that the PM is at the very least tough?
Well, that's not the point. She's got to be a good Prime Minister. Well, Karl, look, the point is she any good at governing the country? And plainly, she's only focused on herself. She's not focused on the public. And I think, excuse me, that's the problem right now. It's a Prime Minister who is focused on surviving, not governing.
All right, I guess the election is yours to win. Are you good with the pressure?
Well, look, that's for the people to judge. I've been the opposition leader now for more than 3 years. I've been in the Parliament for almost 20 years. I was a senior minister for 9 years. I was a leader of the House of Representatives for 6 years. and we have the plan. We have the plan, Karl. We have the Real Solutions plan. You've seen it already this morning from Christopher Pyne.
Does it come with a set of steak
I want you
knives?
to see it again. Well, look, it's very good reading. It's very good reading, and I'd be very happy to read various chapters of it to you.
All right.
And to the viewers.
All right, no one can say you haven't got a plan. Good on you, Tony. Good to talk to you this morning. Let's go to Laurie.